Jerry Wolf created the series and the teams. He said, "Let there be 12 weeks of racing," and there were 12 weeks. Then, with a thunderous slam of his gavel upon the table, behold, a new tradition was born at Race Sim Nation. And on the 7th day, he built a corn dog stand, but that's another story. The MTCO.com Team Racing Series here at the Nation has brought some of the toughest, most competitive, and cleanest racing yet seen in the online racing arena. Tonight, we close out Season 3, the final test of perseverance, speed, and consistency, a final test of will and strategy. It's the last dance of the season, and we're about to get underway.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, what a season we had. We're going to be finishing off this season at a great track. We still have teams fighting. Tell you what, can't wait to get to the next season, JD.
Absolutely, Tracy. It all started back in Las Vegas on June 1st when 10 teams began a quest for the right to sit at the head of the table and test all who came to challenge for that seat. Welcome to the MTCO.com Team Racing Series season final at Homestead Miami Speedway. With me in the booth as your co-host for tonight's event is Tracy Robinson. Jerry Wolf on the cameras tonight. I'm your host, JD Webb. The ETV Live Band is downstairs trackside entertaining the fans. And Tracy, when it all started back in Las Vegas, Exile Racing had put themselves in the lead with Mike Brodus and Larry Malkin finishing 1-2. The Race Sim Nation house team came away in second, Elite Sim Racing in third. At Bristol, Chris Wilson, Jason Riddle, and Danny Gabaldon would get top 10 finishes that put them in the lead by 2 points over challenger Can-Am Racing Team, and they've been there ever since.
Yeah, I tell you what, them two teams fighting for top notch in the team series, back and forth, standing on top, and the same prevailing right now is a team of Elite Sim Racing. Tell you what, put on a hard charge, but tended to fade on a few tracks that they had issues with. And here at Homestead Miami Speedway, tell you what, we have a great track for side-by-side racing. This track puts on such a great show with its 18 to 20 degree progressive banking in the corners and being nice and wide. You can run this track 3 wide, JD, for a final run in the corners. Makes for some great racing down here in Homestead Miami Speedway.
All right, and I'll tell you what, tonight we are fortunate to have 2 drivers from 2 different teams in the booth with us. Tony Bowling from Halls on Post Racing and Chris Melton from Can-Am Racing Teams. Welcome, Tony and Chris.
Thanks for having us, JD.
Thank you.
Guys, we're setting up a regular part of the show for Season 4 here on ETV Live called 10 Questions, or How to Impress Your Fans with 10 Easy Answers. We'll start with Chris. What excites you the most about being involved in a team series?
What excites me the most is that you don't have to worry about winning a race. You and your teammates just have to worry about positioning yourself for the best finish possible for the entire team. That makes it kind of takes the pressure off and puts the pressure on at the same time.
And Tony?
Kind of the same deal. You know, it's not all about winning. It's about, you know, trying to be the best team to finish for the night, you know.
Do question 2.
I really like the communication with the team, too, as far as setups go, what kind of changes you're doing throughout the races. You know, it helps you as a sim racer to understand your car a lot better.
All right. Okay, Chris, question 2. How did you get your start in sim racing?
I got my start, it wasn't that long ago. I didn't start racing until NASCAR Sim Racing came out, and a buddy at work of mine got me into it and started racing with a controller. Decided to buy a wheel, and it's been non-stop ever since.
Okay, Tony, how did you get started?
A long time ago, I started out sim racing with in the dirt cars in World of Outlaws, and I worked second shift at that time, so anybody that I raced with was a bunch of Australian guys. And from there, I kind of moved into the NASCAR and been going ever since then.
All right, I'll tell you what, guys. Hey, what is your favorite sim racing memory and why? We'll start with you, Chris.
My favorite memory would be used to race in a league where you had to qualify your way in every week, and they had a big promotional event for Daytona 500, and worked and got the pole for the race, and it was broadcast. Didn't do so well in the race, but made me feel good that I beat 70 or 80 guys qualifying and got a pole.
Well, concerning the pole positions. And Tony, your favorite sim racing memory and why? And I know you've probably got a bunch of them, but pick out the best one you have.
Um, I'm gonna have to say my best sim racing memory is actually when, you meet up with some of the sim racers that you race with, whether it being at a track
Number
or
four.
just out in the public anywhere, that's some of your best memories you'll have to carry with you for your entire life.
All right, that's always a good memory, remembering the meeting the people you've enjoyed the races them with. Tell you what, question number 4, Chris. What is your favorite leisure activity?
Well, it's a hobby that I've had for a while. I like metal detecting, relaxing,
Oh.
get outside.
That's what that's always kind of interested me too. There, Chris. Tony, what's your favorite leisure activity?
I don't know. I'm always so busy, Tracy, that I've got so much stuff going on. I think my favorite leisure activity is actually when I'm able to just sit down and relax.
Now, would that include your activities you had last night?
Well, that wasn't kind of relaxing. That was just getting shit-faced.
All right.
Beep. All right. I tell you what, guys. Hey, Chris, what is your most favorite all-time movie?
Well, I don't have a particular one, but I have a series of James Bond movies I've always loved, and Roger Moore's James Bond's been my favorite. So any one of his James Bond flicks has always been my one's always turned to when I want to watch a great movie.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big James Bond fan too, but I have to go clear back to the Sean Connery days. Tony, how about you? What's your favorite movie?
I'm gonna say probably Gladiator with Russell Crowe.
All right. And I'll tell you what, guys, we've all had our first car, and we've got some pretty memorable experiences in our first car. I know I've got a couple, and but we won't go into that. But Chris, what was your first car, and any memories about it worth sharing? And see if you can keep it G-rated.
Well, the G-rated version, it was a '79 Subaru Brett, and my first car, stick shift. Never driven a stick shift before. Me and my mom went down to pick it up, and had to drive it home in 5 o'clock rush hour traffic, and it took me forever to get home.
Funny. The funny part with that, JD, I had a 1980 Subaru Brat.
Oh, jeez. I tell you what, hey, Tony, your first car, my friend, and tell us about your most favorite memory.
My first vehicle was actually a truck. It was a GMC S15. I believe it was an '86. And my memory with that would be when I was 16 years old, I was not tall enough to even see over the damn steering wheel. So I had to put books on my seat to be able to get up high enough to see over the steering wheel.
Yeah, word has it here a while back that we caught one of your crew members down there putting telephone books on your seat in your race car. We won't go into that either. Go ahead, Tracy.
Okay, guys. Favorite racetrack, both for the sim and real life, Chris?
It has to be Bristol for me. I love the action. I run really well there. I love watching it on TV, and I wish one day I could go up there and watch it in real life.
Yep, I'm right with you. I'd like to get to Bristol someday. And your favorite track, Tony?
I would have to say my favorite tracks, in the sim are probably, Kansas or anything kind of related to that. I always seem to run well in them type of tracks. And then in real life, Bristol by far, that's after you go there and you see the racing there, it's unbelievable of the things that you see there that you're not seeing on TV. It's just, there's no place like it.
All right, and I'll tell you what, who's your favorite all-around toughest competitor that you've ever raced here, Chris?
Well, it's got to be my teammate Kevin. I've been racing with him for a while here in other leagues, and that guy, it don't matter how fast you go, he always finds another 10th, and it seems like he only lets me beat him when he wants me to.
When he lets you, I tell you what, and Tony, your toughest competitor that you've ever raced here?
I'd have to say about everybody. It depends on the track.
Tracy.
It depends on the day or the scenario. Everybody in there races you to your max. I've said it a lot of times to a lot of guys that you can't just go out there and just drive around a track. If you want to be competitive to win a race here, You got to go out there and run everything you got every race to be competitive in this league. So everybody out there, is the big competitor.
That's the kind of way I feel them too, Tony. Everybody on every day's got their tractor the fastest and hard to race with, and you burn your stuff up trying to keep up with them. But question number 9: if you could trade places with any professional driver for one day, who would it be and why, Chris?
Well, it's not a stock car driver. I'm a big Formula One fan. I would love to trade places with one of those guys, maybe Lewis Hamilton or something like that, and just experience those cars. I mean, they go flat out and turn on a dime. I just love to feel what that experience is.
Okay, Chris, Tony, who do you got there?
It'd be any type of driver, any type of race car. If I could trade position for somebody to go out there and drive, a real car in a race for one day, it would make a dream come true.
A couple of real speed freaks we got here, Tracy. I'll tell you what, one Formula One driver. I mean, that's that's that 220 mile an hour plus stuff, and then, of course, Tony. Hey, anything that goes fast. Guys, what keeps you racing here at the Nation? We'll start with Chris.
Well, kind of aligns with any competitor any day can be as fast as they want at any track they've got that they're the best at, and you just never know. You cannot lay back in this league. You cannot conserve. You can't do any of that. In order to run up front, you got to stay with them. Hope you don't burn yourself up. And I love that racing. It's so competitive. The competitiveness in this league is awesome.
Tony, what keeps you racing here at the Nation, my friend?
The camaraderie of the people in it. We got a bunch of great guys in this league, and everybody tries to help everybody in any way that they can, and you don't get that in a lot of other leagues. A lot of leagues, it's all about racing and that's it. And we tend to try to have fun besides just the racing part. And anytime that you have something like that, it always makes it better.
Outstanding. I'll tell you what, thank you, Tony Bowling from Halls on Post Racing Team, Chris Melton with the Can-Am Racing Team. Guys, you're welcome up here in the booth anytime, and thanks for being with us tonight.
Oh, thanks, JD. And Tracy, next time we come, we'll bring that buffet table in a little bit sooner so we can get a little bit of something to eat.
Yeah, I'm tired of looking at chicken bones and not chicken wings.
John keeps pretty control on exactly when I'm allowed to bring that in, guys. And tell you what, I'm just getting ready to set it up, and tell you what, we're going to have a pretty good spread today here in Homestead.
All right, Chris and Tony, good luck tonight, boys.
Thanks.
All right, again, that was Tony Bowling from the Halls on Post Racing Team. Chris Melton with the Can-Am Team. Tracy, we're going to go ahead and step away for a commercial break right here, so hey, stay tuned. You're watching it live, ETV Live, the only choice Homestead Miami Speedway Season 3 Final, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series, and we'll be right back. MTCO Communications, dude, I'll tell you what, the only place to get your gaming servers, no contract, month to month. Get gaming tonight with Battlefield 2. Hey, Call of Duty. Do it with R-Factor, Arca Sim Racing, dude. I'll tell you what, $49 a month, no better deal anywhere. Remote access, virus filters, remote power cycle, no player limit, no bandwidth, dude. Dedicated servers. Hey, do it tonight. Give them a call, 800-859-6826. All right, and we are back live. I'll tell you what, MTCO.com gaming servers, there isn't no better out there. $49 a month, cowboy. No, you want to get a hold of Jerry Wolf and get gaming tonight. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take you down through the points. We'll tell you who's who and who's where right here in the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. With the last race about to get underway, it appears that Elite Sim Racing Team has clinched the season title. Only 125 laps away from claiming the trophy, Elite sits at the top with 1,141 points. Can-Am Racing Team, Kevin Brents, Chris Melton, Dan Wiley, and Steven Spieth have got to feel proud of the effort they put forth not only this season, but last season as well. Only 37 points in back of Elite, a battle well fought, will more than likely leave them in second place in the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. Halls on Post Racing Team put up a valiant effort with teammate Tony Bowling, J.J. Schlafer, and Dwayne Hall finishing 1, 2, 3 in that order at Darlington last week. Not enough to move them up, but certainly looked impressive in the record books. 117 points behind Elite. It looks like Halls on Post will finish up in a very respectable third place. In fourth, MTCO.com racing team came alive after Daytona back in July, where teammates Jay Bunn, Jesse Racimas took to first and second, with Tony Pozinski finishing in sixth, enough to boost them up inside the top 5. They will likely finish where they stand, 221 points behind the lead. Exile Racing in a battle with Dragon Motorsports for the top 5 finish. Mulligan, Brodus, Vance, and Dockery have been working hard to keep the pace. Only 8 points in front of Dragon Motorsports. They sit in 5th at 271 points behind the leader. And in 6th position, Dragon Motorsports, Frankie Simonto, Dave Hooten, Kyle Linton, David Bass, 279 points off the lead, but only 8 points separating them from a possible 5th place finish here, upsetting Exile Racing League. And in 7th position, the house team, RaceSimNation.com, Dan White, Steven Spieth, Ed Williams, Joe DePino, just to name a few, having a good time this season, 332 points behind the leaders. ETV Live, Jerry Hinkle, Howard Pittman, Scotty Collins, and Brian Pace, 387 points behind the lead. In 9th place, True Gravity Racing, John Brown, Don Klein, and Hal Beardsworth, 396 points behind Elite. And rounding out the top 10, the TroubledHunter.com, 601 points behind the leaders. And now I'd like to direct your attention trackside as national recording artists, the Cactus Cuties, present our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, I hope you enjoyed the pre-race show tonight, live from Homestead, Miami. I'll tell you what, Jerry, the Corn Dog Wolf, he's in here with us, and Tracy Robinson, guys, tonight, the last race here at Homestead. And, we need to thank Tony and Chris Melton for joining us in the pre-race show. Quite a 10 questions interview with those two guys. But Tracy, let me start with you first. Last race of the season, we're at Homestead. We've been here 12 times, and I'll tell you what, our caution average is 7.1. It seems like a little bit high for these guys.
Yeah, Homestead is actually a pretty wide track too, JD. It's really fun to race on. Got plenty of room out there. I'm trying to think, most of our cautions come from people getting down there on that apron, getting loose, and pushing, and then just getting loose and spinning out, JD.
You bet. And Terry, if I want to go to you next, Ernie D'Alfonso, Dan White, Joe DePino qualifying in for the house team tonight. You kind of control that a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Dan White announced that he's coming back out of retirement, pulling a Mark Martin on us, coming back in the Pro Series. And I do imagine that he'll probably get involved with the team series, perhaps either on a team or qualifying in for that house team. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely, JD. I foresee him coming back for the Pro Series after his announcement being made about helping some drivers out, and he's coming back to race them. I hope to see him back in the team series, and I'm just hearing that True Gravity might need a teammate to come back and help out a little bit. So, something to think about there, guys.
Yeah, it might be. I'll tell you what, going down the list here tonight, the 73 Wiley is out, Brenton, Melton, and Spieth running for Can-Am. And I think it's Wilson, Riddle, and Gabaldon tonight for Elite. That's where the battle has been all season. But I think Elite might have it in the bag tonight. And then Hall's on post. It'll be Schaeffler, Bowling, and Greegate tonight. Hall out. MTCO.com looks like it's Racines, Bunn, and Pozinski. And in exile tonight, just going to be the 27th, Larry Mullican, Blaine Dockery. Dragon Motorsports, going to be Frankie Samato, Dave Hoot, and Kyle Lent. And then for the house team tonight, like we said, the 24, Ernie D'Alfonso, the 4 of Dan White, 34, Joe DePino. And Tracy for ETV Live is going to be Hinkle and Pittman and Pace. And then True Gravity is just two of them, just Sean Brown and Hal Beardsworth again. And the Hunter.com, I haven't seen anybody show up for those guys in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the Hunter.com did have quite a bit of issues this year, and that team's pretty much, I think, packed her in for now. I don't know if they're coming back next year at all as a team. I know they had a lot of issues there. But yeah, it's kind of strange to see Don Klein not make it here for the last race at Homestead. That's really going to kind of hurt True Gravity. So hopefully next year they'll get everything put together and get that team running strong again, JD.
You bet. And starting down the lineup tonight, qualifying on the pole, J.J. Schlafer for the Halls on Post team with a 30.68. He'll be starting on the pole tonight.
And starting second tonight will be that 16 of Kyle Lynn.
And for MTCO.com, the 70, Jesse Racima starting third.
Starting fourth for Halls on Post, the 21 of Tony Bowling.
And for Dragon Motorsports, starting fifth, Frankie Samanto.
Starting sixth is 78 of Chris Melton for Can-Am.
And the Chrome Horn himself, starting seventh, Dan White for the house team.
Starting eighth, the number 8 of Dave Booten, and he'll be racing for Dragon Motorsports.
Kevin Brent for Can-Am Racing, starting ninth.
Starting 10th for the house team, the 24 of Ernie D'Alfonso.
And Jason Riddle for Elite Sim Racing, starting in 11th.
Starting 12th for Exile Racing, the 27 of Larry Mullican.
And Chris Wilson putting up a good fight with Jason Riddle over in the Pro Series. He'll be starting 13th.
Starting 14th tonight, the number 7 of James Greegate for Howells on Post.
And for True Gravity Racing, Sean Brown will be starting 15th.
Starting 16th tonight for MTCO Racing will be the 17 of Tom Plaginski.
Who's going to finish second? Hal Beardsworth and number 3, True Gravity Arts, starting 17th.
And in 18th, the 37 of Jay Bunn for MTCO Racing.
And we call him Counselor Joe DePino, qualifying in for the house team. He'll be starting 19th.
And then 20th, the number 99 of Steve Spieth.
And 21st, Danny Gabal.
Green, 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 green.
As we get the green flag, J.J. Schlafer picking it up. He's got Jesse Racima. Tell you what, Jesse Racima, we're either going to start calling him Leadfoot or Wallbanger, one or the other or both. But getting off to a pretty good jump here as J.J. Schlafer hanging on to the lead out here. Kyle Lent qualifying in out on the outside tonight. Lickety split. Tell you what, 30.73 qualifying time. And we are racing at Homestead. Final race for the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. 2 wide back here. Looks like with Samato and Bowling, almost looks like Samato having second thoughts here, too.
Yeah, I tell you what, you need to get out there, let your cars run. The draft really works good here at Homestead coming in the corner. But I tell you, everybody's pretty dang equal on this track. It'll be real tough to make any passes. It looks like everybody's getting a good run down there. Looks like they're trying to fan out almost a 3 wide heading down the backstretch, JD.
Yeah, you got a final race here at the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. I'll tell you what, it's been quite a season here. The battle between Elite Sim Racing and Can-Am. Right now, Can-Am sits 37 points behind Elite Sim Racing, as we saw in the pre-race show. So I don't know that there's going to be any movement there, but if you move on down just a little bit between Exile Racing and DB Texas versus only 8 points separates those two. So that's the race tonight. And it's between Exile Racing and DB Tech. I've got it written all over my notes here. It's actually Dragon Motorsports. I know the team owner is probably going to reach out and slap me across the face for that one, Tracy. But Dragon Motorsports, 8 points in back of a possible 5th place finish here at the Team Series, MTCO Team Series. But looking to try to move up here in the final race. I'll tell you what, they did get a pretty good jump on that tonight. Looked like all 3 of them were up in the top 10 on the qualifying.
Yeah, and you've got a leader, Jeffrey team just got around the number 9 and JJ Schlafer back there and on the back stretch. When he came through 1 and 2, got beside him, and was able to pull him in front of him, JD.
You bet. And you know, I didn't get a chance to get down to the garage tonight, but I'm hearing about 61 laps on fuel tonight, Tracy.
Yeah, we got 61 laps on fuel, JD, and everybody can run till at least lap 50 without having too many issues with their tires as far as having any tires blow out on you. So, I mean, if we get this thing green, look for a one-stop race tonight, guys.
You bet. 5 of them in the books already. 100 laps here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go all the way back here to 19th. Tom Plazinski on the bottom. Danny Baldwin, that 62 Elite Sim Racing machine on the outside as Plazinski gets past him. Now here comes the 99 Steven Spieth. But, you know, I got a funny feeling these guys are probably going to go into some tire management mode here for a little while, Tracy. Probably looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50 laps, so maybe a one-stop shop here for a lot of these guys. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, these guys are starting to try to take care of their tires, but, you know, we've talked to some of these drivers here, JD. It's really hard to take care of your tires because when you got the front group pretty much running at your maximum possibly, you got to stay with them, and you're going to end up burning your stuff up and just hope that their time losing on the track equals what you're going to be losing by burning your tires off, JD.
Yeah, you bet. I tell you what, pretty much single file racing all the way to the back. Howard Pittman down here in the grass, guys. Not quite sure what happened there. Can't pull it back and see what happened to Howard here. Like he might be having some severe electrical issues here, guys. I'm not quite sure, but apparently we're still cleaning green. Howard Pittman forced behind the wall with some severe electrical problems there, Tracy.
Yeah, they told him bring behind the wall. Let's take a look at it. And they, what was damaged, they can't replace before it fit into the race. So they're just going to park that car for the night, JD.
Back out here in front, it's the wall banger himself, old Deadfoot Jesse Racimus for the MTCO.com team, and behind him, JJ Schlafer from Howells on the post, and then Kyle Lent for Dragon Motorsports. Dragon Motorsports looking real good here tonight on the qualifying effort, guys. Top 10 for all of them. Looks like Frankie Samato got a 5th place qualifying spot. David Hooten in 8th. Kyle Lent still running for Dragon Motorsports up there, of course, on the outside of the pole. So pretty good, might be a pretty good night. Remember, the race tonight is between Dragon Motorsports and Exile Racing League. Only 8 points separate those guys. So Dragon Motorsports working hard tonight to try to make up those 8 points and capture a top 5 finish here in the MTCO Team Series.
Yeah, tonight it'd be just for pride for Can-Am. Try to just maybe beat Elite Sim Racing on one more race tonight. Kind of get a good vibe and roll and some momentum coming into next season, JD.
Yeah, I'm sure tracks are flying around as we, get into the last week of racing here. And want to remind everybody that the nation takes a 2-week break here. We'll be on hiatus here at ETV. I believe the next broadcast coming up calls on Monday Night Pro Series. That's going to be at Richmond International Raceway on September 12th. So you don't want to miss that. And just looking back out here on the track, Kyle Lent going backwards big time here as Dan White and Tony Bowling get past him here, Tracy. So I think already tire wear might be coming into a play. 11 laps in the books already.
Yeah, I watched Kyle Lent go really high up the corner there, JD. He pretty much let everybody that was behind him go by him. And you could see as he's entering the corner, and even Jesse Racimus in the corner, they're way about that middle groove to high groove down the corner.
Yeah, you can always tell here at Homestead, when the tires start wearing out, these guys start taking the high line going into turn 3 and 4 here, coming down the front stretch. That's always a pretty good giveaway. And then, coming down the front stretch, probably see the same thing going into 3 and 4. They start creeping up the track there a little bit. And I'll tell you what, got to take your foot off throttle coming off, and that wall comes up real quick coming off turn 4, Tracy.
Oh yeah, it'll come up really fast. I mean, if you look on that wall now, that wall was nice and clean at the beginning of the race. There's about 4 or 5 marks out on that wall already, JD. And I'm just watching these leaders. It's Tony Bowling, he's getting kind of pushed on the high side there as Cam gets around him. And Jesse Racimus, he's back in second with JJ Schlafer back on lead. But you can see JJ's car is also starting to push up there, JD.
Yeah, it looked like Bowling got just a little bit out of shape there, and probably had to back off the throttle just a little bit. Allowed Dan White to come down on the bottom. Dan White, I tell you what, that's like a steamroller, and he's on his way to the front, side by side with Justin Racimus going on the backstretch here. Dan White is he's got some pretty good experience here. I think he's got quite a few top 5 finishes here at Homestead, so he does know how to get around this track, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, I know we just ran this track not too long ago here. It's just a fun track to run. If you take care of your tires, not driving in deep in the corners, you'll have a long, good run. As I see Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson are nose to tail, JD, working their way up. They split them. They're working to try to get up to that Can-Am car up there and put them behind them. As the aid of Dave Wooten is right on their tail, riding right with them, JD.
You've got, Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson, teammates over here in the MTCO.com Team Racing Series here on Wednesday nights, but they were absolute adversaries on the Monday Night Pro Series over there in the Halls on Post Monday Night Pro Series. Of course, Jason Riddle walking away with the trophy on Monday night. As, brake dust coming off. Looks like Racimus heading for pit road already, guys. Heavy brake use coming down that backstretch. Of course, I don't know if that was the wall or brakes, but it looks like Jesse Racimus heading into the pits, guys.
Yeah, I see that. He can get way down on that track, JD. I see what happened, JD. He came out of the corner and slammed into just past the safer barrier, into the concrete wall where there is no protection. He's got a right front flat there, JD. That's why he had to head down pit road, get that flat fixed, and get some of them damages, JD.
You bet. And I was watching the 22 car Frankie Samato here in 6th place. Kyle Lent almost side by side here with Kyle Lent, but Frankie Samato getting out of shape just a little bit, had to back out of it. Kyle Lent still hanging tight in the top 5 up there in 4th place. Melton got past Frankie Samato here for DB Tech Services, but that's the reason why we call him the wall banger. And I tell you what, sometimes the lead foot comes into play and makes it even worse. So this track is definitely one of those. Just you got to settle into an even pace and just be consistent and and stay with it and just take care of the tires.
Yeah, especially that right, that'll get you pushing out towards that wall pretty quick on this track. Gives you a multiple banking here, JD. It goes up from 18 degrees to 20 degrees. The banking gradually changes as they go up. And if you've got somebody who's a little faster than you, it's probably safer on this track. Just let them go by. Try to get them back after green flag stops or if there's a caution. But just race your own race out there on this track, dude.
Yeah, you got that right. And, you know, we were just talking about Jason Riddle, Chris Wilson, like I said before that trouble with Racines. But, you know, Riddle and Wilson teammates out here with Gabalden and D'Alfonso. And, you know, on the Monday Night Halls on Post Pro Series, they were adversaries. And Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle involved in a fight for several weeks, probably about 3 or 4 weeks over there. Jason Riddle had a brief stint at the top of the pile over there before Chris got it back. But Chris, unbelievable, man. This is the second night in a row for him, second race in a row, had electrical problems with the machine and forced out of the race at Michigan on Monday night. And that pretty much just handed the trophy right over to Jason Riddle. Jason Riddle walking away with the Halls on Post Monday Night Pro Series Championship for Season 3, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you, just a rough 2 weeks for Chris Wilson. Yeah, I like that. Week before Michigan, running at Watkins Glen, just had a motor expire on him with only like 3 or 4 laps left to go in the race. Just some rough luck for 2 weeks for Chris Wilson, but you know what? He's a strong competitor. He'll come back next year, fight hard, and try to get that championship for the next season, JD.
Yeah, you got that right. I'm just looking over here in the chat room. I want to say hello to Dwayne Hall. I heard he was feeling a little bit under the weather tonight. Made a phone call. James Greegate in the cockpit tonight out here at Homestead, Miami. And David Bass, he was feeling a little ill tonight too. But I see he's checked into the Halls on Post chat room over here. Cameron and Nicole, I'll tell you what, that's got to be Nicole Greegate. Don't know who Cameron is. But and then somebody by the name of Jay Greegate is the man.
All right, yellow flag, back it down.
Family member of the caution comes out for the first time here at Homestead, Miami. And looks like it's the number 3 car, Hal Beardsworth, the True Gravity.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
Already. See if we can't roll it backwards, and almost looks like a self-spin, guys. Just got a little tangled up with that apron line down there, and got tossed up the track into the wall there, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, JD, that was nothing more than a little bit of server lag on that part there, so it did rough him up a little bit. They're going to try to get some repairs, get it in here and get it fixed up. And then I see he did lose it here after that and backed it into the wall again, JD.
Yeah, twice. I'll tell you what, you know, that's some pretty tough luck True Gravity Racing's had all season long, guys. Only 2 of their drivers showing up for the race here at Homestead tonight. Of course, they're not going to be able to do anything with the points after tonight anyway. But only 2 of them showing up here tonight, Tracy. Hal Beardsworth and Sean Brown.
Pits are open for the lead cars only.
You know what?
Lead cars only.
They could have possibly got ahead of that ETV Live team. They were close enough in the points, you never know. But yeah, what a rough night for that team. But yeah, I tell you what, that server lag happened really big on his end. He had no clue where he was at the time until that car re-showed up on the track, and by then it's a little too late and you go around. But everybody seems to be heading down pit road, JD.
Yeah, and Dan White was your leader at that point too, overtaking JJ Slafer. So everybody coming down pit road, tire changes and fuel. And I'll tell you what, while that's happening, we'll keep an eye on pit road. We're going to go ahead and step away and take a commercial break right here. You're watching it live, ETV Live. The MTCO.com Team Racing Series season final at Homestead, Miami. Don't go away. MTCO Communications, dude, I'll tell you what, the only place to get your gaming servers, no contract, month to month. Get gaming tonight with Battlefield 2. Hey, Call of Duty, do it with R-Factor, Arca Sim Racing, dude. I'll tell you what, $49 a month, no better deal anywhere. Remote access, virus filters, remote power cycle, no player limit, no bandwidth, dude. Dedicated servers, hey, do it tonight. Give them a call, 800-859-6826. right. Now just going over some previous stats here, Tracy. Dan White, who's being shown our leader right now. Dan's got a win, and it looks like I'm going to say two top 5 finishes here at Homestead. So Dan White certainly knows what's what here at Homestead for sure.
I'll sorry about that. Yeah, I ran with Dan White quite a bit, JD. Tell you, he does a great job on Homestead. Knows how to save tires. He'll sit there and watch and let you burn them tires off.
Yeah, he will. I'll tell you, somebody else has got a pretty good record here too. We talked to him during pre-race, and that's going to be Tony Bowling, Smoking 21 Tony Bowling for the Halls on Post team. He's got a top 5 and 3 top 10s here. And I'll tell you what, in one race, I'm going through here, it was, I don't think it was a team race, but if it was, it would have put the Halls on Post team certainly up in the lead with all 3 of them finishing, 2 out of the 3 in the top 5 and the other one in the top 10. So I'll tell you what, Halls on Post certainly knows how to get it done here at Homestead, Miami as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, they come here with some great setups. Those guys work together really good on them.
Okay, we're going back to green next time by. Lap cars on the inside.
Hall has a lot to do with the setups. These guys practice them and get them fine-tuned for each other, and they seem to run really good, really competitive. And I know they've been working on the tracks they were maybe slacking on, so look for them to have a real good finish here tonight, JD.
You bet. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, we did get the 1 to go, so we're racing this time around. And want to remind everybody that get over to etv-eplay.net. You'll want to watch this race again, the season final here at the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. And get over to the ePlay store, etv-eplay.net, and 99 cents, and you can download previous races here broadcast on ETV Live. I'll tell you what, you pile them up on your extra hard drive or burn them off to a DVD. Invite your friends over, your neighbors, your in-laws, your outlaws. Have an ETV e-play party. Get the corn dogs, Coors, and Coronas out and have a good old time. And I'll tell you what, no better fun than let these things pile up on your hard drive and sit down on a Sunday afternoon and watch the e-plays, etv-eplay.net. Only place to get them, 99 cents. And for $10, you can get 15 downloads over there, guys. So I'll tell you what, etv-eplay.net. Get ready to go green one more time here. Dan White going to pick up green. Kyle Lent, Chris Melton, and Jason Riddle, your top 5 here. Chris Wilson right behind Riddle. I'll tell you what, this is just a Sunday afternoon cruise for them, Tracy.
Yeah, it looks like they're taking care of their stuff, JD. They just picked their way up through the pack, moved up in the top 5 and top 6. Just looks like they're just running together and taking one car at a time, getting up there and see if they can't get up there and if they've got anything for Dan White tonight, JD.
You know, I'd probably just leave Dan White all by himself out there and just let him do his thing. And, you know, 37 points separates Can-Am from Elite up there. Elite, of course, at the top of the pile. Doing the math, I don't think, I mean, it would have to be a devastating night for Elite, so I don't know that even the numbers are going to have anything to do with any kind of movement for Can-Am tonight. But I'll tell you what, Can-Am got to give those guys a big hand for the season that they put together. And, you know, their effort, Tracy, actually started about mid-season in Season 2, really putting the pressure on Elite, Chris Wilson, DuFonso, Cabalden, Riddle, really coming on strong, but I tell you what, they are absolute contenders anywhere they go.
Yeah, just going to the field there, JD. The 21 of Tony Bowling, he started back in the pack. My guess is he got a longest line for exceeding the speed limit in pit road, JD.
Yeah, that will come around to bite you. I tell you what, 30 laps in the books already. You do not want to get a speeding penalty here. Of course, Tony Bowling, we talked to him during pre-race too. He's running for the Halls on Post team tonight. He's out there with J.J. Schlafer and James Griegate back on the track tonight. I'll tell you what did it take to have to pry him off the couch and get him behind the wheel tonight? I have no idea. Perhaps a phone call from from the All in the Hall family headmaster over there, Angela Hall, saying, "Hey, Greegate, get your butt in your car. You're on tonight." So I'd hate to have been the recipient of that phone call.
Well, with us talking to James, he wishes that he was just sitting on that couch, JD. He's a pretty busy a guy working on that real race car and trying to keep his family going strong and work, JD.
You bet. As Kyle Lentz putting pressure on Dan White up here, chasing down J.J. Schlafer. Dan White giving that second place over to Kyle Lentz. Kyle gets just a little bit sideways here, coming off turn 4, heading down to the front stretch here. But I'll tell you what, Kyle Lentz absolutely putting the pressure on Dan White. But you know what? Dan White being smart. We're about 3 laps into this thing after that first caution. So I imagine Dan's probably just, he's thinking tire temps,
Yeah, he's just sitting there and goes, "Oh, you guys want to push your cars that hard? Here you go. Go ahead. I'll just follow behind you. I'll be able to let off a little sooner than you guys, save my tires, and just wait for you guys to burn them off, and I'll come back around you."
Yeah, I've been in a couple of practice sessions out here with Dan White and chased him around the track a couple of times. Of course, he was kind enough to share one of his premium setups with me one night. And I tell you what, he's a few years younger than I am, so I tell you, it doesn't take me long to give it up to him. And but he's a smart driver. He knows when to put it together and take it forward, and when to take it easy and back off and just let it run here for a while, which I'm sure he's doing right now with Kyle Lentz out there in front. But working on back through the field, pretty much single file. Riddle and Wilson still running together up here in 5th and 6th. Of course, we know what they're up to. All they have to do is basically finish the race tonight in just about any position, and they've pretty much clinched the season title here at the MTCO.com Team Racing Series.
Yeah, they're just going to have a nice lead run tonight. Can-Am, they're going to try to get the best finish. Of course, Hall them both. They're going to try to get up there and win this thing tonight. But that house team of Dan White, Ernie D'Alfonso, and Joe DePino. I'm back here with Ernie D'Alfonso and Joe DePino. They're just back here having a good old time, taking it easy in 14th and 15th spot, sticking together and working their way around this track, JD.
You bet. That's a pretty team right there. D'Alfonso, Dan White, and Joe DePino. Of course, Ernie D'Alfonso, teammate with Wilson, Riddle, and Baldwin for Elite Sim Racing. He's the odd man out tonight, and the rulings this season allowed the 4th driver to qualify in for the house team. Don't know if those rules are going to change for next season or not. Maybe we can get Jerry.
Tell you what, JD, the only rule change we got for next season is we're allowing guys like Ernie D'Alfonso to drive in the 4th slot. Next season, we're going to be stopping that. You can only have three drivers run for your team. If a 4th guy shows up, unfortunately, he won't even be able to qualify in, JD.
All right, you heard there. You have to be other than a team member to qualify in for the house team for next season. So if the 4th driver shows up, too bad. I guess it's either who shows up first, or I don't know how these teams are going to work it out. Hell, I even have one of these teams out here, ETV Live team, but I have no idea how they settle up between them. But they're all adults, and I'm sure that they've split the difference between them, and some of them run one night, want to take a night off and let somebody else run. So I imagine they'll get it together, Tracy, and work it out. But new news coming for next season, and team drivers cannot qualify in for the house team. That might be a good thing, I think.
Yeah, then that'll leave it open for a lot more people who want to try to qualify in on that house team. But I tell you what, I've been in, we've played that situation where you got to decide who's driving that night. You've got 4 guys in your team, the other guy stays home, and hopefully people look at themselves and say, okay, I'm good at this track, I'm pretty consistent here, but you know what, I'm really bad here, and so if one of my guys is better than me, I should just step aside, let him race that one, because it'll do the best for our team, JD.
Yeah, you bet. Of course, we don't want to make any accusations, but it does look kind of funny when you get teammates qualifying in for the house team tonight, and then they kind of split off in the house team. Yeah, they working, trying to help their other drivers out there. Yeah, you never know. Places like Talladega, Daytona, these big drafting tracks.
JD. JD.
All right, yellow flag. Back it down.
Jerry, caution coming out. Caution coming out here, Jerry. Got to pick this one up. Second caution of the night, guys. We'll get back to Jerry. Looks like it's going to be Chris Melton, guys, going around. And that it looks like he was coming off of turn 4 here, guys. Looks like he might have gotten into the wall. Have to roll this one backwards here, Jerry. Sorry to interrupt you there, bud, but might have been a self-spin coming off.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
Yeah, JD, that's nothing more than self-spin coming off the turn there. Got loose. Actually, in the middle of the turn, got loose there, but he did keep it up the track. Nobody got into him. A couple cars getting a little bit of getting a little close to him there, going around him, but everybody seems to make it clean around him. They'll get in there, get that back in and repaired, and get her back out on the track tonight, guys.
Yeah, actually, that was turn 2. He wound up spinning around in. Some of these camera angles here, you can't tell which turn you're in and which ones you're not. But tough luck for Chris Melton tonight, guys, for that Can-Am racing team. Of course, you know, they've been working hard all season to try to get close and overtake Elite. Just couldn't get it together. But caution number 2 coming out here, guys.
JD.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Let me ask you a question. If you came out
Okay,
here with
pits
your
are up
teammates
for all
to run
cars.
and you weren't
We can
racing
pit
for
now.
points, then tell me you wouldn't help those teammates, JD.
Oh, no, of course not, Jerry. I wouldn't help my teammates.
That's what I thought, JD.
Now, off the record, hell yeah, I'd be out there for my teammates.
Yeah, you might give him a little space and take that spot that night, huh?
Hey, you know, it's all about team racing, and you know, I visited a lot of these teams. Of course, we've talked to Tony Bowling, Chris Melton, during a pre-race show tonight. We heard from both of them and what all this racing stuff means to them. You know, and some of their memories going back to the years involved in sim racing. And these guys have developed quite a relationship with each other. You know, whether you're on a team or just mixed up in a league somewhere. But even the guys over in the Pro Series, I mean, it's like one big happy family over there. And I tell you what, the more you get to know these guys, you get to know them on the track, and I think that's one of the things, Jerry and Tracy, that makes the racing over here at the Nation so outstanding. I mean, this is incredible racing here at the Nation. You know, few caution flags. I mean, we've seen long green flag runs for the most part in both series. So it's a fantastic racing series here at the Nation.
And you know, JD, it also makes somebody new coming in here a lot easier to get them up to speed. When you've got everybody, you know, works together with each other like that, they can probably get to that person and settle them down a little quicker, get them into the pace that everybody's running and how we run these races. And I tell you what, it just makes it a lot easier for a new person coming in too, JD.
Yeah, it does. And tell you what, it looks like everybody coming down pit road this time around.
Okay, we're going back to green. Next time by.
Coming out on lap 42, so why don't we go ahead and step away and we'll take a commercial break right here and we'll bring you the action live, ETV live, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series at Homestead. I want to hear the end of that joke. All right, we're back live. If that was a joke, I'm sure it was. But anyway, we're back live, MTCO.com Team Racing Series. Hey, if you need a promo or a commercial broadcast here during the races at ETV, hey, give me a holler and we'll put something together for you. And I see Dwayne Hall down there in the chat room. And
Green.
He's going to call me. I'm tired of waiting by the phone, dude. As we get to racing one more time, I heard J.J. Schlafer picking up this green flag, Dan White in tow. Kyle Lentz still hanging out there in the top 5. Of course, Riddle now moving up inside the top 5. Dave Hooten from Dragon Motorsports staying in the top 5. Kevin Brent's right behind him, 2 wide back here with Brenson Hooten. Has Greegate looking on. Greegate out here on the track tonight for Halls on Post, Tracy. We haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Qualified 14th, and I'll tell you what, he's working hard to get up in there in the top 5 here at Homestead.
I tell you what, he's just been working the whole night with his pit strategy and everything else to get up there. But I'm trying to figure out what happened to old Chris Wilson. He's kind of fell back here a little ways, JD. I don't know if he missed his pit box or what's going on there, but he's kind of fallen back in the back of the field following Larry Mulligan.
Yeah, Greegate finally getting up on moving past Kevin Brent here for Can-Am Racing. I'll tell you what, Greegate has been AWOL here for the series for quite some time, but you know, you got to give the kid credit. He's been working hard up there at Grundy Speedway in Illinois. I understand he's moved into 6th place as a rookie up there at Grundy Speedway, guys. So I'll tell you what, go check his webpage out, jamesgreegate.com, and check the racing out up there at Grundy Speedway up there in Illinois. As Greegate working hard there with the other number 7 car, Tracy.
Yeah, but as we talked to him, when he has a mishap in that other car, it hurts a lot more than it does out here on this track, JD.
Yeah, you got that right. We went through that here about a month ago or so. You know, he couldn't make the races out here because he was mending his wounds from upsetting his car at Grundy Speedway. So. But pretty much single file here, guys. Not a whole lot of movement going on. 48 laps in the books. We're approaching the halfway point here at Homestead Miami Speedway, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series final. I'll tell you what, it's been quite the season here, Jerry Wolf. Congratulations to you on a fine series here, and we're looking forward to Series 4.
Thank you, JD. I'll tell you what, it has been a good series. It's turned out to be something fun. And Tony Bowling kind of hit on it in pre-race there, guys. This isn't about coming out here and being the fastest driver. This is about putting 3 guys in 3 separate cars and trying to get around the track in an orderly fashion to finish the race with as many points as that team can gather. So it's really not about who's the best driver on the team, because I think y'all need to kind of be equal and all of you stay up front and gain those points. So kind of a neat series we got going. Going to take it into next season and keep it rolling. Hopefully have another good season out of it, guys.
You bet, and you know, looking forward to the new pre-race show format that we've got going. We're going to try to work those 10 questions in every week. We'll have a couple of different drivers, one from each, from 2 different teams, hopefully, and hopefully by the end of the season we might be able to get through most of the drivers, you know, all 10 teams here. So really looking forward to that, and tell you what, kind of a beta test the last couple of weeks on these pre-race shows. I'm satisfied with the one I saw tonight. A little bit of work on the audio, but I'll tell you what, it looked like it was a pretty decent show there, Tracy.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be pretty informative to our viewers, and just something new and different watching the pre-race. Give them something to look at than watching guys run practice or happy hour. Keep them up on the races from the week as we go on, and just it'll be fun and exciting for everybody.
You bet. That's just cruising around in 17th place back here with Joe DePino, working over the back end of Jerry Hinkle up here. Joe trying to get around him, just couldn't get it done, and just wound up falling him back here. Joe trying to hook it up for the house team here tonight. Of course, his teammate Dan White already up there in 3rd. He's been up in the top 5 from the get-go here, and I tell you what, Dan White usually puts it on the pole here at Homestead. I know he's done that here a couple of times, but Dan White with an unusual 7th place start here at Homestead, Tracy. So, but it didn't take him long to get in the top 5. James Greegate working past Dragon Motorsports' Dave Hooten here. Greegate on the move, trying to hook it up for Halls on Post here. But it's been a while since Greegate's been in this particular car, so looks like doesn't look like he missed out on anything. But tell you what, got to give a hand to Dragon Motorsports out here too. They are desperately looking for 8 points here, Tracy, tonight. It's only 8 points that separates them from Exile Racing. and it might be in their favor. Only the 27 of Larry Mulliken and Blaine Dockery, the only two drivers for Exile here tonight.
Yeah, that'll make it very interesting. Leo, it's not a big jump in the point standings, but it is something. Put you in the top 5. Just gives you a little more momentum going to next year. I hope a lot of these teams get their team together. They know what they need to work on for next year. I know Exiles had a lot of ambition, and they really thought they were going to do really good this year and be way up front. But I tell you what, it's just things haven't gone their way this year at all, JD.
Yeah, and I take that back. Just looking down through the roster on the grid, looks like it's only Larry Mulliken for Exile out here tonight, guys. So I don't see Vance or Dockery in that 91 car or the 5 car out here. So I'll tell you what, this might play into Dragon Motorsports' hands tonight. All they need is 8 points to overtake Exile and get a top 5 finish here for the series. But J.J. Schlafer back out there in front. Dan White was out there for a little bit. I don't think Kyle Lentz has had an opportunity up there in front yet. But I'll tell you what, the 3 of these guys, I'll tell you what, they seem to be making it happen out here. 57 laps in the books here at Homestead, Miami. And James Greegate already up inside the top 5.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, JD. I'm back here taking a look at this, and I'll tell you what, that little experiment we have learned about in the forum there, looks like it's paying in dividends right now for Dave Houghton, guys. He just cracked the top 5, taking over Jason Riddle, Elite Sim Racing, guys. Just passed him up. He's heading for the front.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, smooth sailing from Dave Houghton. Yeah, that experiment did pan out. I understand that's what's going to put Dan White back in the driver's seat with the Monday Night Pro Series, is Jason Riddle looking to try to get it back from Houghton. I'll tell you what, Jason Riddle, it's like Greegate hitting the apron, going around.
All right, yellow
James
flag,
Greegate
back it down.
Caution number 3 coming out here.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
There might be a couple of them involved. Was that the 21 Tony Bowling I just saw? Ooh, the 20 car of Frankie Samato involved in that. Oh man, that'll be devastating news to Wendy Bernard, new team owner for Dragon Motorsports, looking for a top 5 finish here at the team series. And looks like Greegate might have started all that, guys. I'm looking back here, looking on the replay here. Looks like Samato just trying to avoid what was happening up there, and noses it into the inside wall, Tracy.
Yeah, JD, I was watching that. It looked like one of the house team cars of Ernie D'Alfonso. Looks like he got caught up in it, just trying to avoid the action going on there. Let me take a look back here. Yeah, the 24 of Ernie D'Alfonso in that house car just got down that apron and lost it, just like the 22 of Frankie Samato. He got a little front end damage on that left front, JD.
Wow, that's tough luck for Samato and for D'Alfonso. I'll tell you what, the MTCO.com racing team, they were putting on a pretty good effort this season as well. They finished up in the top 4 or top 5 here in 4th place, but the game ain't over yet. Wow, that's a tough break for them. But I'm a little more concerned with the Dragon Motorsports team. There's only 8 points. Remember, we've been talking about them all night here. But hopefully Samato can get it fixed up and back out there on the track, Tracy.
Okay, pits are up for all cars. We can pit now.
Corner 4, and Dan White was able to get underneath him, and I just about to pass him, and I think he gave that spot maybe back to him, JD. There, Jerry.
Tracy Robinson, get away from that buffet table and get back over here and sit down, man. Come on now.
Hey, when you spend an hour setting it up, I'm going to enjoy it.
There you go. I don't even know what's on the buffet table tonight. But I'll tell you what, working caution number 3, guys. And it looks like James Greegate bringing that one out, the 22 involved. And the house team, D'Alfonso, the 24 involved tonight. So tough break for those 2 guys. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break here. You're watching it live. ETV Live, the only choice. Homestead Miami Speedway, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series season final. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back live. Halls on Post. I'll tell you what, Halls on Post Monday Night Pro
Okay,
Series.
we're going
You don't
back
wanna
to green
miss the
next
action
time. Bye.
happening on September 12th when we come back from hiatus. Richmond International Raceway, guys. I'll tell you what, some absolute fantastic racing over there on Monday nights, and it will be live right here on ETV Live, so don't miss it. Back out here at Homestead, guys, coming off of caution number 3, and the number 7, James Grigay, who is just working hard, qualified back in the 14th position, guys. Took him 60 laps to get there, wound up in the top 5, hooked the apron, round he went.
I tell you what, JD, it's pretty tough to stay away from that buffet when you're having Cajun Fest tonight.
Cajun, all right. I can't wait to get back there. Cajun food.
All you do is come back here like this, JD, and you can get some.
That crawfish, grits, and what else is back there?
Little jambalaya.
Little jambalaya. Cool. I love that stuff, man.
No,
You know,
there's one up there. There's one up there fried. Just try it. Don't ask me what it is.
Fried? Deep fried? I'll have to, you know.
Cajun?
Yeah. Yeah, anything fried, huh? I have to ask our little Italian boy out here.
Green.
He likes cioppino. Jambalaya is kind of like cioppino, kind of a seafood mix. But we get the green flag one more time out here. Schaeffler, White, Lent, Hooten, and Riddle. That's your top 5 up here. I tell you what, Hooten, what a fantastic job this guy's doing for Dragon Motorsports tonight, guys. Top 5 from the get-go. The his teammate in the 22 car, Frankie Simonto, of course, involved in that caution, trying to take some evasive action to avoid the 7 car as he was coming off the wall. Unfortunately, Frankie got down across the apron in a kind of a gentle nosedive into the inside wall there, but back out on the track, back here in 22nd position. As we're back to racing again here at Homestead, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, the 21 of Tony Bolin, he's kind of working his way back forward, JD. He just broke up there in the top 10, following that 42 of Kevin Prince and the 84 of Chris Wilson.
And we've got 2 MTCO.com teammates running back here. There's going to be Kozinski and Rasimus in 14th and 13th up here. Rasimus, remember, he was involved, well, he didn't bring a caution out, but hard hit into the wall, had to make an early pit stop, put him clear out of sequence here. And Rasimus taking some damage here, trying to work it back up here. So old wall banging Rasimus stuck back here in 14th place, guys.
I'll tell you what,
though, JD, he came back from 2 laps down, I believe, didn't he, Tracy Robinson, to get back here on the lead lap? Sitting 3 seconds behind the leader, right, Tracy?
Yeah, he went in and he got up that wall, JD, blew his front tire, went in, got that pit stop, went down 2 laps, and tell you what, great job getting back there on the lead lap. But I tell you something we haven't talked about all night is that 33 of Jerry Hinkle. He's quietly moved his way up to 12th position right now, guys.
Yeah, you bet. I'll tell you what, I think Jerry Hinkle, if I'm not mistaken, earned a 9th place over there in the Hold On Pro standings, over their top 10 place in the season final over there. So congratulations to the 33 of Jerry Hinkle. But tell you what, you know, MTCO.com Team Racing Series, we're going on hiatus here for a couple weeks as well. The next race, we're going to be in Chicago, Tracy, on September 14th. So you don't want to miss that action either. Broadcast live right here on ETV Live. Chicago, put it on your calendar. Do it now on September 14th.
Yeah, that should be a really good race. Chicago always puts on a good race. Tell you what, who's going to really shine there is Tony Bowling, because that, and when we had the 10 questions on him, those are the type of tracks he said he really likes and usually excels at, JD.
Yeah, you got that right. Single file racing pretty much out here at Homestead. 68 laps in the books, guys. This is going to be an elite sim racing night. All they have to do is finish the race tonight, Tracy, and they're going to go home with the season trophy. Team series, season 3 trophy for the team series. But not a whole lot of moving on the track out here, but checking on a couple of these guys. We're keeping an eye on Dragon Motorsports. Dave Hooten still up here in the top 5. Teammate Frankie Simonto back here in 22nd position. Kyle Lentz still running for Dragon Motorsports up here in the number 3 spot, so they're looking pretty good tonight. Now, there's only one driver. Larry Mulliken is the only driver for Exile Racing Team out here, guys, so this may be what Dragon Motorsports was looking for. Only 8 points separates them from a top 5 finish here in the season closer here at Homestead, so we'll just have to wait and see. 70 laps in the books, 30 more to go here at Homestead.
Yeah, looks like we got a nice, everybody seems to be running pretty nice right there, JD. I watched Tony Bolin just make another pass, move up another position, and looks like we possibly can maybe get a long run here and maybe finish this race out the rest of the way without any caution, JD.
Yeah, and Tony Bolin's teammate back here, the number 7 car, bringing that caution out there here a few laps ago, checking on him all the way back here in 20th position. I'll tell you what, started in 14th, worked all the way up into the top 5, and then, you know, just that quick it's over with, and you right back in the back and got to do it all over again.
Yeah, and I'm back here checking in 22nd place, the last car out on the track right here, JD. With that 22 Frankie Spano, so when he spun out there, he obviously took quite a bit of damage. Car not running quite the way it was. Just going to try to get this race underneath his belt and get it back on the truck and get the heck out of here and hope for a better race next time they return to Homestead, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, I was just looking at some more points here. Hall's on Post doing an outstanding job here tonight, trying to make it get somewhere, but they're 80 points away from Can-Am Racing. So I don't know that, you know, that's probably way out of the realm for them tonight, but I'll tell you what, it always looks good when they put the hustle on. You know, and, you know, good finishes are always welcome here. And, you know, Jerry was talking earlier, you know, it's about teammates working together here. And, you know, here's how it works, folks. It's not necessarily who wins the race. Certainly that's always a welcome thing. But it's where you and the rest of your teammates finish on the grid. And, you know, you can have a single teammate win the race, but, you know, if his 2 other teammates are in the back of the pack, and you've got 3 other teammates up here that finish in the top 10, you know, guess who's going to walk away with the points for the night. So it's an interesting way to present some clean, good racing here. We've been doing it for a couple of seasons here at the Nation, raceofnation.com. Fantastic series here that Jerry's been putting on here, actually for a couple of years, I think, but officially I think this is season 3 for the Nation.
Yeah, you know what, These guys ain't just barely footing it around this track. These guys are pushing hard, running these cars on the ragged edge most of the time. So it's not like everybody's taking it easy, being careful drivers. Everybody's driving hard, trying to get every spot they can. And tell you what, doing it with respect to the other drivers all the time, JD.
Yeah, you know, and Tony and Chris were both saying in the pre-race show about the racing here. You know, it used to be you come out here with a strategy, and you know, you go into the practice series or practice session, and you kind of scope your car out a little bit. You find out what it can do, and, you know, how you're going to pace yourself during the race. You know, constantly looking after your lap time. You want to develop a consistency, but all that pretty much goes out the window anymore. You know, these guys come out here now, and they let it all hang out on every single lap. And I tell you, it's just been some tough competition, but some outstanding racing as well.
Yeah, that's what makes next season pretty exciting, both for the Pro Series and also this Team Series, just because of the quality of the racing we had all year. I mean, if anybody's out there thinking about getting into a sim game...
All right, yellow flag, back it down.
We got a caution right now, JD.
Caution coming out, number 70, Jesse Racima's going around, guys, and just watching Chris Wilson go past the 65 car when that caution came out, rolling it back here. Jesse Racima.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's
like
closed. Pit road's closed.
Wall banging night for the 70 MTCO machine, guys.
Yeah, JD, I got this pulled up here for everybody. Looks like he goes in the corner, rear end of that car just kicks out from underneath him. I believe we've seen somebody else do that a little bit earlier tonight, so maybe a little bit of a looseness there in that corner. I believe it was... who was that, guys, that spun out earlier?
Mr.
Did the exact same thing he did. There you go, Mr. Melton. Did the exact same thing the 70 car did tonight, JD.
Yeah, you bet. Going into the pits with a tire down on that 70 machine, you're absolutely right, and that happened on lap 42, guys. That was the second caution of the night. The 78 car just, the back end just comes around on you, and that's it. And the problem with this track, a lot like some of these bigger tracks, is that we see Racimas pulling it behind the wall. The speeds here, Tracy, that's a big factor in the amount of damage you take and what happens out here. You hit that
Okay,
apron
pits are up
and
for all
send your
cars.
car right
We can
across
pit
the
now.
track and smack into the wall.
Yeah, and then this track is very aero dependent. You got to have straight fenders on this track to be able to really do something out there. And you get your fenders bashed in. You're going to try to loosen that truck up to help combat the truck getting tight. But as you can see by maybe the 70, he might have just loosened it up just a little bit too much, and it jumped up underneath him, JD, as everybody's hitting pit road.
You bet. And as Mark Martin would say, 4 tires and fuel, boys. And tell you what, we'll keep an eye on the race off of pit road here. I'll tell you, Kyle Lent, J.J. Schlafer, and Dan White have been the 3 coming off pit road, and they're all leaving their pit boxes now. Looks like it'll be Schaefer, Lent, and looks like Dan White again. Dave Hooten up there. I'll tell you what, the races off pit road, Tracy, make as much entertainment as the race going around the track does.
Yeah, I tell you what, but we're setting for a 20-lap shootout here, JD.
You got that right. I'll tell you what, 79 of them in the books here. When we go and step away, we'll take a real quick commercial break here. You're watching live, ETV Live, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series, live from Homestead, Miami Speedway. We'll be right back. Hey, this is JD here to tell you about NVG Web Hosting. NVG has several hosting packages to choose from that include cPanel, website templates. You can even register your domain with them. Web hosting plans start at an affordable $3.95 a month and reseller plans starting at $13.95 a month. And the best part, no setup fees. NVG Web Hosting provides daily backups 24/7. You can even transfer your existing domain through them. So don't be caught in the dark with your web hosting. Sign up and get started today. NVGWebHosting.com. All right, we are back live. Do not get caught in the dark. I'll tell you what, NVG Web Hosting, that's where the nation houses its house. It's home right over there, NVG Web Hosting, NVGHosting.com. And of course, the SimFactory.com. I'll tell you what, you want to strap one of these babies on and have a ton of fun. $49 hotshot. Get over to SimFactory.com and get her downloaded. JJ Schlafer picking up
Green, 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 green.
Green flags inside the cockpit of that car. Kyle Lent behind him, Dan White, Dave Hooten. Awesome job. Chris Wilson finally working up into the top 5. Got Jason Brittle right behind him on the restart.
JD, we got 20 laps to go here. Now the question is, are some of these guys going to run real aggressive, drive them cars really hard, trying to get up front there, burn their stuff off, while somebody else maybe saves tires? Considering we got 20 laps to go, I was looking for that Dwayne or Dan White to probably hang back, let these guys lead, let them burn off their own tires.
Oh my Tracy, I'm telling you right now, this 42, 96, and 21 are down here, and they are playing with a big old ball of fire, JD. You take a look at that 3 wide there coming out of that corner. Just absolutely insane, guys.
Absolutely, and the 96 and the 21 still tuking it out up here. 96 machine squeezing Tony Bowling up into the wall. and Tony takes it wide coming into turn 3 here. He'll come out turn 4, almost too wide here. Jason Riddle trying to sneak by on the bottom here. Can't get her done, but he's got the draft off to Chris Wilson, that 84 machine up there. But Tony Bolin hanging tight up on that top lane up there. And Jason Riddle just can't get it done here, Chris.
Tell you what, some great racing going on there. These guys are really good. And I said, we're going to have a group of them going to be really pushing their cars hard right now. Going to heat up them front tires and possibly start pushing like some of the other guys behind them. What do you think, Jerry?
Oh, I'll tell you what, you're exactly right. But JD, is this where they call it? Is this go time?
Yeah, I think it's go time. But I'll tell you what, it's all for bragging rights here on the podium tonight. The winner of the race. The points are pretty much settled out here in the Team Racing Series with the exception of Dragon Motorsports and Exile Racing League. And let's take a check on them. Dave Hooten, Don Hogan for Dragon Motorsports up here in the top 5. Been there all night long, guys. 4th place up here behind Dan White. So there's one. We check back, actually out in front of him, 2 cars. Up in 2nd position, the other Dragon Motorsports car, Kyle Lent, tonight out there in 2nd place. And the 22 machine, Frankie Samato, who got caught up in a caution back on lap 59, guys. Frankie Samato back here in 17th, just keeping it clean, keeping it off the wall here. But I got a funny feeling they might be in an excellent position to pick up those 8 points to move into 5th place. We won't know until the game is over here. And I'll tell you what, you got to keep it clean. No penalties. Penalty points, can mean the difference here.
Yeah, I tell you what, those L spins, I do believe it cost them guys 5 points on their finish. So, as far as that finish for 5th and 6th, penalty points could take you out of maybe moving up 1 spot tonight, JD.
Yeah, it did. That's how it worked out between Exile and Dragon Motorsports last week. They came out of the race before the penalties were assessed. Looked like Dragon Motorsports had a top 5 pretty much secured. And of course, the penalties come out, and they were slipped down into 6th place underneath Exile. But I tell you what, there's some more racing going on back here in 14th place. Look out in front of Frankie or Jay Bunn out here. James Griegate and looks like 17 Tom Plazinski for MTCO going at it up here. Looks like Griegate's going to get the better of Plazinski. And here comes Bunn, the other MTCO car. 88 laps in the books here at Homestead, Miami already. And you wouldn't know it that Bunn and Plazinski were teammates.
No, those guys race each other hard out there, trying to get the best position for their team as much as they can. And you've seen that James Grigate already had Tom high, so he felt he was a little faster. And Tom figured I'll try to get around him in a hurry and let Tom get back down behind me and just keep moving forward there, JD. But tell you what, JJ Schlafer has put a pretty good gap between him and 2nd of about 3 car lengths, and then you got Kyle Linton running the 2nd, and you got Dan White behind him about 4 car lengths. Not too sure, maybe Dan is just conserving tires for maybe like a 5 lap or a 10 lap charge there, JD.
Yeah, that could be. In the meantime, I've been back here watching Kevin Brent. I don't know what's up with his machine, but a couple of times going down the front stretch and the back stretch, he comes way off way out of the lane, cuts down on the inside, and right back up towards the wall again. And he's got Larry Mulliken behind him, but he's about 6-7 car lengths behind. So there's really no draft effect taking place there. So I'm not sure what Brent was doing there, unless he's trying to shake the fuel around in his car. 10 laps to go here at Homestead, Miami, the MTCO.com season final here. Tony Bowling working over the bumper of the 84 car, guys. I'll tell you what, the chrome horn coming out on that 21 machine.
This is actually when I would say it's go time. 10 to go. You were within that couple laps of that leader, catching up to him. This would be the time you're going to win your car for everything it's worth, JD.
Yeah, you bet. 9 laps to go here at Homestead, Miami. I'll tell you what, they're letting it all hang out now. JJ Schlafer, I'll tell you what a ride he's having tonight, all the way out there in front. Started on the pole, and I'll tell you what, he's 8 laps away from collecting the checkered flag here at Homestead, Miami Speedway. Kyle Lent doing an outstanding job with Dragon Motorsport back here in 2nd place. Pretty much been up there all night long. Of course, Dan White, the old Chrome Horn himself, coming out of retirement next season of the Hallsville Post Monday Night Pro Series. So Dan White back out on the track. I'm sure this was a practice session for him. Qualified in tonight for the house team and doing an outstanding job here running in third. Putin and Wilson, your top five here, with Bowling coming on strong here. Bowling trying to get it past that 84 car Wilson. Wilson making his car pretty wide here. Just is not going to let that happen, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm kind of riding on some cars here, JD. Tell you how hard these guys are pushing is you can actually hear them hitting the rev limiter pretty hard now entering those corners, JD. He's trying to get absolutely everything out of these cars. Kyle Lent has closed that gap up there on the 9 at JJ Slayford, JD.
Yeah, he is. He's inching closer and closer and closer. 6 laps to go here at Homestead, Miami, the season final for the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. I'm still watching this action back here with the 21 car and the 84 car. I tell you what, Tony Bowling just working over the bumper of that 84 machine, trying to find a way around him. I tell you what, Chris Wilson watching that mirror close is not going to let that happen. Tony Bowling coming off of turns 3 and 4 here, going to come down the front stretch. And Chris Wilson's got, looks like you got Dave Hooten for Dragon Motorsports out there in front as well. Hooten trying to stay up there in the top 5 and maximize the points. Remember, it's all about how many points the team earns here. As Tony Bowling coming alongside the 84 machine, Chris Wilson here. Remember, this is all for bragging rights. 5 laps left here at Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, I tell you, Tony's trying to get around that 84 of Chris Wilson there for probably the last 7 to 8 laps, JD. And gets up beside him, and he picks up the draft from that number 8 car and just gets back around Tony. And I tell you, really making it difficult for Tony. It looks like Tony's pretty much cleared him now and sending the side in that number 8 car.
Yeah, you got the JJ Schlafer still hanging on to the lead out there in front of Kyle Lent in that 16 machine for Dragon Motorsports. Dragon Motorsports, I got a funny feeling they might have an outstanding night tonight. And you know, I wish we could tell where they were going to wind up. I just don't have enough fingers to work to calculate it right now. But
all right, yellow flag, back it down.
Caution's coming out one more time here, guys. If we can't roll it back here and pick it up and see who's bringing this one out on lap 97. That might set us up for a green, white, checkered. The 78 car Can-Am Racing, Chris Melton for the second time tonight, guys. Bringing caution number 5 out here. Let's see if we can't roll it back here. Looks like he got caught up in about a 2-wide situation here going into the turn. Might have gotten a little bit heavy on the throttle, and he does. Self spins it around, Jerry. That's going to do him in for the night, I believe.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed.
Yeah, and I got to tell you,
closed.
JD, that was fantastic work by, I believe, it was at 99 of Steve Speech to get around him. Wow, man, I mean, he had some pretty good reflexes there. I would say he probably gets a good hands award for this race, guys.
Yeah, you think? I'll tell you what, right at the last minute, see that back end come spinning around and then jerk it over to the right real hard as he gets by him. But I'll tell you what, the 78 car of Melton going around one more time here at Homestead, Miami, bringing out caution number 5. And I'll tell you, I think this is going to set us up for a green, white, checkered. Yep, it's official. Now, here's how it works, folks. Green, white, checkered, there's only one. And if the caution comes out on that first lap, they will finish behind the pace car at pace speed, and it's game over. But if they take the white flag, the caution will not come out no matter what happens on the track.
Okay, pits are up for all cars. We can pit now.
Flag under green. So Tracy, caution number 5 here. 2 cautions away from the average. Think we'll beat it?
Yeah, boy, tell you what, Eddie, it's pretty tough. I was watching the pit lane here to see who was going to take it and who wasn't. I tell you what, that from second back, they had JJ Schlafer stuck out on the track if they would have wanted to jump down pit road. But I tell you what, they all swung back out on the track, figured maybe not enough people were going in. But I tell you, it's green, white, checkered. Everything, pretty much throw everything out the window. These guys are going to go for it now.
Hey, JD.
Yeah.
I bet you we'll make it the rest of the race with beating our caution limit. That's 7 cautions. I bet you $100, JD.
$100. I tell you what, why don't we see if we can get a hold of James Greegate here. Hey, James Greegate in the number 7 machine down there. It's JD up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, buddy, I got you. How you doing?
Hey, man. Looks like you were on the move out there for a little while. You started 14th, got all the way up in the top 5, and, dude, what happened?
Yeah, I just wanted the tour of the infield. You know, I was going through and really just got a bad pit stop, overdrove the car for the first couple laps, cooked the right rear tire, and just didn't get enough actual practice in to know what to do once the car started going away from me. So, you know, lesson learned. We've kind of clawed our way back into the top 10 with a destroyed car, and hopefully we can finish there.
Hey, you got a teammate out there in front, been out there all night long, JJ Schlafer. Pretty much all for bragging rights tonight, James. The points pretty much settled out already, with the exception of one team trying to duke it out with a top 5 in the works. But I tell you what, how's the racing been out there for you?
Oh, the racing's been a lot of fun, man. A lot of give and take, but yet at the same time, it's been you know, pretty cutthroat for parts of it too. I mean, right there with Jay Bunn and everything like that was a lot of fun, a lot of clean racing, and it's just a great track. Dwayne did a great job of building it, and it's just fun to race on.
You bet. I've been out there a couple of times myself, chased Dan White out there a few times. But I tell you what, good luck to you tonight, and we'll see you at the start-finish line at the end, my friend.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep in the top 10. I know Ernie's coming pretty quick, and some of those other guys back there that just got fresh tires will be coming through, but you never know what can happen, and we'll see what happens.
All right, James. That was James Greegate, hauls on post for riding out there in 10th position. Remember, he worked himself all the way up into the top 5 up there, Tracy. Had an issue, we'll just call it an issue, on I believe it was lap 59 here, and got sent all the way back and had to fight and claw his way back up into the top 10 again.
Yeah, JD, tell you what, there's another driver that's telling you what kind of pace you have to drive your cars at RSN right now. Everybody's driving pretty aggressive, driving their cars hard just to stay up front. But tell you what, it's making it for really fun racing for everybody.
You got that right. I'll tell you what, we're just going to stay right with the action here, and we'll take you right to the checkered flag here at the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. I believe we're going to get the 1 to go at the start-finish line here. Yep, we're getting the 1 to go here, the flagman signaling, so they'll all get lined up in a single file line here. Green, white, checkered, Tracy. And remember, if the caution comes out on the green flag lap, then it's pretty much game over. They will finish in that order under green behind the pace car. And no caution flies after the leader takes the white flag. So whatever happens behind him, dude, it's over with. And they just got to make a dash to the start-finish line to claim their victory. So I'll tell you what, J.J. Schlafer going to collect another green flag here. Kyle Lent behind him, Dan White, Doug Hooten. Where did I come up with the name? Doug? I got Dave Hogan, Don Hogan up here with the. Hey, you know what? I know Dave Hooten pretty well. I knew him by another name, another race name that he used to have, and I can't for the life of me remember it. I'll have to ask him about that, but I think he and I go back a few years. But Dave's a good old boy. He's out here in the top 5, been that way all night long. But he's got the 21. Tony Bowling. I tell you what, Tony starting out tonight in the 4th position, got cycled back. I think he might have had some issues with his car, but to tell you what, fighting back and working up into the top 5 with Pearson Tracy.
Actually, I think he had an issue with his foot, JD. A little speeding down pit road, got him in the back. But I tell you what, I know Dan.
Green.
Kyle Lent and JJ will run themselves so hard, it'll give them the win, push each other up, and they're heading down the green flag. And tell you what, Tony Bolin had a great start, got in the back of that 8 car a little bit, got him twitched down the front stretch. Oh, it's Tony Bolin.
All right, yellow flag, back it down.
And the caution, and it's game over, guys. Game over. Caution flying on the green flag lap. The race will finish under green behind the pace car. J.J. Schlafer will be your winner. Kyle Lent and Dan White, I believe, your top 3. And let's check with the race official first here to confirm. Jerry Wolf, do I understand that it's game over? They will finish behind the pace car.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow. Pit road's closed. Pit road's closed.
Correct. This is game over. They will finish behind the pace car here. Fans getting a good look at that 21 going around there, coming into turn 1. Just didn't have it and lost it up into the wall, guys. A lot of damage for them. They're going to limp it on back around here and get them, I believe, a dismal 20th place out of this, JD Webb.
Dismal 20th place. I'll tell you what, it was all for bragging rights pretty much tonight. And your season champion unofficially is Elite Sim Racing Team. And I'll tell you what, Halls on Post, where 21 Tony Bowling hails from, in the 3rd position here in the standings. So the race is pretty much over, guys. We will finish under green behind the pace car on a green-white checker. Caution coming out right there with the 21 car. And JJ Slaper, he's officially going to take the win for tonight.
Okay, pits are up for all cars. We can pit now.
Second place finish tonight. Dan White for the house team will finish 3rd. Dave Hooten, I'll tell you what, incredible night that Dave has had tonight for Dragon Motorsports, finishing in the 4th position. Chris Wilson, Elite Sim Racing Team, there's your leaders right there. Wilson and Riddle, 5th and 6th here, Tracy.
Yeah, and I tell you what, got finished in 7th. Danny Gabalden had a great night. And look at 7th, James Grigay got his way back up to 9th place with all his issues he had tonight. Tell you what, I was hoping for green flag finish tonight in this season, JD, but you know what, we're going to get out of here with not too bad of a caution count tonight, so we'll move on and get on to the next season coming up in 2 weeks and crown our champions coming up here in the next week.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, you know, looking over here in the chat room, I think David Bass and his mom, Wendy Bernard, owner of the Dragon Motorsports, probably biting their fingernails and tell you, wondering what the points you're going to present to them. Remember, they were 8 points out of a top 5 finish here at the season final in the standings here, Exile Racing League. Remember, they only had one driver here tonight, Larry Mulliken, in that 27 Exile machine. And I tell you what, Samantha, Hooten, and Lent out here might have been able to put it together to get themselves up in that top 5. We won't know until the race is declared official after we have probably left the track here tonight when they get all the penalties situated. But I tell you what, you know, all 3 of them pretty much keeping their car clean all night long. And
green.
Penalty points, so it may happen for them. But for right now, we're going to finish under green on this green-white checker. Remember the caution coming out on that final lap, on that green flag lap there. 21 Tony Bowling bringing it out. So why don't we go ahead and we'll let these guys take a couple of laps around here, finish this thing out. We'll step away, take a commercial break right here, and we'll bring you back live. Homestead Miami Speedway, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. We'll be right back. You're watching ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting, the very best in the business, brings you the highest in broadcast quality at a full 720 by 480 resolution with superior audio and instant replay by the exclusive ETV Rewind machine. Follow the live action with producer John Wessing and commentators Sean Bickle, David Bass, J.D. Webb, Jerry Wolf, and more. And don't miss the pre-race entertainment TV Live Band. Broadcasting weekly from ArcaSimNation.com. Catch the Halls on Post Pro Series on Monday nights and the MTCO Team Series on Thursday nights at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Have some fun with the broadcast team in the ETV chat room and listen to a live race scanner. And remember, ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. It's the only choice.
Yeah, turn
Go
left
ahead, Dave.
right there.
All right, we are back live, the MTCO.com Team Racing Series season final here at Homestead, Miami Speedway. And I'll tell you what, I'm standing down here in Victory Circle with JJ Schlafer. JJ, what a night.
Yeah, man, this
Yeah,
I am a fan of this track, man. It's it's a lot of fun, really suits my style. We had a great setup tonight too, and it showed. A lot of fun tonight, bud.
I'll tell you what, you absolutely hooked it up right from the start, getting the pole tonight with a 36.8. And I'll tell you what, you had Dan White duking it out up there with you. In fact, he passed you a couple of times for the lead, and then you managed to get it back and stay out in front. And, of course, you and Kyle Lent and Dan White, pretty much the three leaders all night long.
Yeah, I actually think Dan had a better long run set than I did. He came and got by me that first run. Was making some adjustments to it, as we went, and it just made the car faster as it went along. And I'm just happy to finish out this season with the win. I wish, I know James and Tony had bad luck tonight. I wish they had a little better luck tonight. It'd been nice to have Halls on post finishing out the season with a team win.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, congratulations on the win here at Homestead Miami Speedway tonight. Any shout-outs out there you want to give?
Well, really want to thank Angela Hall's on post. Dwayne Hall, he wasn't feeling too well tonight. Dwight James had to step in, and I want to thank my teammates, obviously Dwayne, James, and Tony. And you guys for doing this. I love watching these E-plays. I get them every time, even the ones that I'm not in. And keep doing what you're doing up there, bud.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you, JJ. I'm going to throw it on down the road here just a little bit. Tracy Robinson is standing by with Kyle Lent.
Yep, I'm down here with the 16 of Kyle Lent. Tell you what, Kyle Lent, great run tonight. You really got back up in the front. I think you slid back there for a little while, but I tell you, great race all night tonight.
Yeah, we were pretty much second, third all night long. Really had nothing for JJ, but overall, really good night. I think Dragon Motorsports got top points for today's race. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a good way to go out with a bang, man.
Yeah, I tell you what, you did a great job up there all night, battling back and forth with Dan White up there. You guys switching spots here and there. Tell you what, I consider Homestead a fun track to race. How about you?
Homestead's probably my favorite track to go to besides the restrictor plates. No, I do like the restrictor plates, but no, Homestead would probably be my second favorite. Now I went to a couple races here before. Love watching it, and to now drive it, it's pretty fun. But I really couldn't have done this without JJ. He helped me pretty much all night long, so I really appreciate all his help with the second place finish.
Alrighty, Kyle. Is there any thanks you want to give out up there to the people?
No, I just like to thank all my sponsors. Thanks for Dragon Motorsports for a good season. Fortunately, I won't be with them next season, but it was a fun ride.
All right, guys, that's your second place finish tonight in the Homestead, the 16 of Kyle Lent for Dragon Motorsports. I'm going to throw it back to JD. I believe you caught up with that third place finisher.
Yeah, Dan White. How many times do you have to interview Dan White before it gets to be old hat? I'd just soon sit in a coffee shop somewhere, Dan, and just drink coffee with you.
That sounds like a good plan. Have some donuts too, or some croissants or something. I don't know.
I tell you, man, what a race here tonight. You raced qualified in for the house team tonight, put on a pretty good show out there. And I'll tell you what, you started out 7th tonight, and it didn't take you long to get up front.
No, it's I like Homestead. It's a fun track to race on, and got a dynamite setup underneath the car. Just trying to make some adjustments during the race here to try and best Kyle Lent and JJ, because they were the two top dogs here tonight, but didn't quite make the right adjustments there at the end to be able to get up there and race with them for a different position. But very, very happy to bring the house team home in third place tonight.
Outstanding, Dan. Any shout-outs out there that you want to give?
Yeah, MTCO Game Service for sponsoring the Wednesday night team series. Of course, Race Sim Nation, you guys in the booth for doing what you do and giving up your time. And I'd like to give a shout out to that number 8 of Dave Hooten tonight, finishing in 4th place tonight. He ran a heck of a race, so good job for him tonight. But thanks to all of you guys in the booth and everybody that puts this show on.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, congratulations to all three, J.J. Schlafer, Kyle Lent, and Dan White, top 3 finishes here at Homestead Miami Speedway. But I'll tell you what, Jerry, the Corn Dog Wolf, the master of it all, standing by with your elite sim racing team. I believe those are your series champions here at the MTCO.com Team Racing Series. Chris Wilson, Jason Riddle, Danny Gabaldon, and Ernie D'Alfonso, Jerry.
Actually, I am. Hold on, this guy. Melton, can you hear me? Chris Melton, you got me?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, I just want to let everybody know, I want to put a big shout out to Chris Melton. Thank him a lot for all of his help this season. JD, if it wasn't for Melton, these races probably wouldn't get scored. So thank you very much, Chris Melton, for all that you do for this league, guy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, and I've caught up with this elite sim racing team. Once again, we're going to crown them a champion, and we'll start out with Mr. Riddle. Riddle, buddy, you got me?
Yeah, I got you, Gary.
Mr. Riddle, how many? Let me tell you. You don't have to look it up. I already have. This is season championship number 4 in a team series for you guys.
Yeah, we've been pretty strong, pretty lucky to have good races in the team challenge. We don't win them all. Consistency pays off. I mean, I feel like we don't load our team up. You know what I mean? We all 4 raced. We all 4 set out. I mean, we didn't have certain people running every race to get the points championship. I mean, everybody on our team, we split it up. I mean, that's how a team is.
You are exactly right. That is exactly how a team is. And Danny Gabaldon, I believe they brought you on this season. You weren't on with these guys last season, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I was not, but sure am happy to be here with my longtime racing buddies, man. We go back a few leagues together now. And to be on this team with them was, I can't thank Big JW enough for putting me here.
Yeah, I hear you. And then there's that old boy Ernie D'Alfonso. Eddie, you know what? Great season for you guys again. How many seasons does this make with you and Elite? And tell us a little bit about your season.
Well, I think this is the 3rd season I participated in, but I mean, honestly, you know, it's all about my teammates. You know, they've helped me out a lot with setups. We all work very well together. A lot of good communication during the race, and I honestly wouldn't do as well as I have done, you know, during some of these races without their help for sure, and that you know makes me have a lot more fun than I would have had. So I really just got to thank my teammates, you know, for you know the seasons that we've, you know, put in here and gotten the championship.
Awesome, buddy. And Chris Wilson, to you, I believe you've had one heck of a week this week, haven't you, bud?
Yeah, man, I'm just happy I didn't lose my internet connection tonight, and I've had trouble with that here lately, so it held up tonight, and I was able to cap off the season with a good finish and take home the championship again for John Wesley and Elite Sim Racing. And like Ernie said, no, it's a team deal. We prioritize it being a team deal and everybody, you know, contributing, and everybody on the team doing a good job this season, all season long.
Yeah, awesome job, guys. Great to see another championship out of you. Starting to look like a Jimmy Johnson Cinderella story going here with 4 of them. But hey, hopefully you guys can come back, and this is what it's all about. Ernie, we had talked about this earlier in the race, and Ernie and Danny and Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle, one of them kind of explained at the beginning and said, hey, you know what, JD, this is what it's about. It's about a team. We work together. It doesn't matter if Ernie finishes first every week or Chris Wilson finishes first every week. The goal is to get all the teams up there, and you guys have done a phenomenal job this season after season. I mean, you guys got it down pat. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw it back over to Ernie. I'm going to let Ernie give you guys his thanks and get us out of here for the evening.
Yeah, I got to thank Jerry. I really I like the way that you've run these series, you know, the team series in the past, and I especially like, you know, the way you worked it out, this season with the 4 drivers, and 3 of them count. It definitely gives a team a lot of flexibility. I hope it stays that way for next season. But thanks for doing this every season. Really turns out well, and thanks to John Wessling for picking me to be on the team. It's definitely a privilege to be on the team with these 3 guys, and obviously MTCO game servers and Elite TV or ETV. You guys, you make these things fun to watch and fun to participate in, and you guys definitely give up your time. You could be racing, but instead you do this for us. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Jerry.
I'm going to tell you what, Ernie. I'm going to throw this back up to JD, but before we go, I'm going to give you one last thought. I'm not sure you want me racing. JD, check us out of here.
I'm not sure you want him racing either. Jerry makes a better technician here in the booth than he does a race car driver for sure. But I'll tell you what, Tracy, what an outstanding season this season. Elite Sim Racing, the season champions. I'll tell you what a fight that Can-Am Racing put on. You don't want to leave those guys out of the mix here. They absolutely rocked this season like they did about halfway through last season. Hall's on Post putting up a grand effort tonight, as they did every night. MTCO.com Racing. The Exile Racing League. Dragon Motorsports with a brand new owner about 3/4 of the way through the season this season. And then, of course, RaceSimNation.com, the ETV Live Group, True Gravity Racing Team, to Hunter.com. What an outstanding season of racing that we have had.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's a great season. We got to see a few teams challenged at Elite Sim Racing for the wins this year, JD. We know Can-Am, they put on a charge, and they actually had the lead for a little while, not real long, but at least they made it. I tell you what, Halls and Post, they had both barrels loaded trying to get that championship, but just circumstances kind of took them out of that challenge. But I tell you what, next year Elite's got to keep an eye on running smooth, because they're definitely gonna have 2 teams charging super hard at them next year.
Yeah, you got that right. And contracts flying around, I'm sure, as a lot of things are up in the air with a couple of teams. I know drivers switching around and whatnot, but I'll tell you what, we'll let you know who's who and who's where in a couple of weeks as we gather them all back together again, and we'll be in Chicago on September 14th. We'll be off on hiatus for the next couple of weeks in the Halls on Pro Series. Next race coming September 12th, Richmond International Raceway, Tracy, and I'll tell you what, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I tell you, it's going to be fun. And I can't wait till next season, but tell you what, it'll be nice to have a couple weeks off, get together, get some stuff sorted out, get ready for the next season. I tell you what, we got a bunch of people we need to thank, JD. We got to thank True Gravity Arts Design for decorating the RSN website. If anybody heads to that website, just had a complete overhaul of it. It looks absolutely awesome. MTCO Gaming Server for hosting the best racing sim around. And I tell you what, steady servers never have an issue with them. NVG Hosting for hosting the RSN website. Halls and Post for sponsoring the Monday Night Pro Series here at the RSN. DB Tech Service sponsors the Saturday Night Thunder Series. Arca League Manager, our points manager software. We wouldn't know where these teams would be finishing without them. And the Sim Factory for building this game and keeping this game and letting us run it good and keeping it going strong, JD.
Absolutely. We also want to thank Exile Racing, sponsors of the Sunday Night Shakedown Series. The nation itself. Ain't no better racing out there, cowboy. Right here, RaceSimNation.com. Jody Johnson, ETV Live journalist. He always does the RSN weekly race headlines for each one of the series. He also puts the power rankings together for the Pro Series. And we also want to extend a special thank you out to Tony Bowling and Chris Melton for joining us in the pre-race activities tonight. It's good to have them in the booth for an interview. I always want to thank ETV Live executive producer John Wessling, and of course the man himself, ETV junior producer Jerry Wolf, and the master of it all over here at MTCO.com Team Racing Series, track master Dwayne Hall for reworking all the tracks for the nation, and Tracy Robinson. I'll tell you what a season we've had. Appreciate you coming into the booth with me every Wednesday night here. Hey, we do it again on Monday nights as well. And also thanks to all the drivers for a great season of racing. And I'll tell you what, I heard Danny Gabaldon say something that kind of struck me as something peculiar. And I have to really agree with him. You know, we don't measure time in how many years we've been doing this anymore. If we, you know, we've got a lot of buddies that do this. It's like how many leagues we've run together in. So, you know, I just thought that was kind of a unique thing that Danny Gabaldon said. But anyway, hey, that's it for the MTCO.com Team Racing Series, the final one here at Homestead, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Peace out.